Hey, so my phone was basically discontinuing, but um, I am now continuing the video that I just quickly edited and put the little tabby phrase to be continued. So this is the continuation, but in between then and now, it was really, really awesome. I watched I took part in, it's more of like a live thing. Harry Mack's Wednesday word play thing. He's a really awesome freestyler. Or rap is what I mean. Not swimming in a pool, but he can definitely rap about that. And for me, why I'm mentioning it is because what he does, and what I do recommend for a lot of people, um, and it's got to do with music, and it's what he does with a lot of people, and what you can do with yourself, and all the link to music and healing and being creative and interacting and things like that. It's healing, and I found myself at times feeling a little bit frustrated and angry when they were, all sorts of comments running through, because it's like interactive. And what he does with his freestyling is like spur of the moment and spontaneous creativity. So he'll include words or phrases of what people are commenting. Some people can pay for a comment and that will be a certain color. But anyone can sort of do that. And I couldn't exactly pay attention to all the comments. I mean, I was busy listening, sometimes commenting myself, other times I was just, getting in sync with it, really trying to appreciate the art form and appreciating what he is doing, and not like worshipping him as a king or throwing my hatred towards him like many people were doing. It's like I was just like so frustrated because I had just been talking about that kind of thing, and I'm like, and I had a different perspective of it. I'm like, these people that were spending money on God, I mean, my God, please, the grace and the mercy, like help for him. And I mean, sure, come on, people, you gotta find something to believe in, something, hope, some kind of thing, even a word. If you can find a word that is positive and good, remember it. Just make sure that it is a good, positive word of that is not hateful, and that you can realize in yourself through time, even if it's my goodness. I mean, if you love the color blue, and so when you say blue and you smile, and that's a good feeling. And if you want to add in the chat, for example, and I'm just going to give it in a different way, and you want to pay for I don't know if they had a color blue, but pay for a blue thing with a blue amount of fucking money, but with your comment that you made highlighted to come up, and you choose blue, just the word blue, because that's something that you love, and you would love for him to incorporate it creativity, like creativity. I want to say two words at the same time. It's like blurring the words together, but in a good way. So it's like producing joy with another person. And in fact, he's a very talented person, and usually the outcomes that he produces is, I mean, I have a lot of respect for him. It's actually uplifting or humbling, or just literally not hateful. And for me, I'm like, I can understand it in different levels, because I'm no freestyle rap artist. Nobody is like this guy, but again, I'm just thinking, you're not even paying money for your highlighted opinion, which is hateful, and people can see your name, and so you highlighting your own hateful comment, thinking that that's okay, and you feel like, I don't know what a person feels like when they highlight and pay for their own hateful comment to show up and pop up, and my goodness, I mean, you need love. And that is literally, and also you need to learn I don't know, why are you spending your money on like highlighting your own hateful words that came from your own mouth, your own brain, and you want that to be included in somebody else's. Like, I mean, maybe from a point of appreciation in a certain perspective, can I see that maybe that's an attempt to. It's wrong though, and people do learn. Sorry, but yeah, I agree. It's like, if you're gonna do that, especially with people that know what they're doing, hey, like, watch your mouth or wash your mouth. And if you're spending money on something, and just think about it, like, you are paying money to either support this artist that you appreciate, or you're paying money because you want your own foul mouth and the words that you decided to ruminate on and put into typing, and then I don't know what the process was, that you easily just paid for that to come out. And, like, I don't know if you feel proud of yourself when that's addressed or mentioned. You should feel grateful when, like, it's just a different example that I'm using now, and I've really enjoyed his music, and I was just like, I get really in sync with it, and to be honest, it was really hard to also try and put comments in there, because I also wanted to contribute to the experience. It's an experience. It's like almost collaborative, but truly he does most of the work, and I'm not sure who helps him, but I hope he's got people helping him there, because it's like, the amount of people, like, I squint through the comments because they run down, they're like quickly, and the highlighted ones, they with different colors, I sometimes see them, and he sees them, and he literally applies his brain and is very talented in using his brain to process things, and he's extremely intelligent. Intelligence is not a good enough word. He's creative in that way that you're like, wow, and you fucking believe in something. Sorry for swearing. It's just like, I don't like that when like, how can you pay for your own disrespectful words coming out of your own mouth and then expect somebody else to, like, use that? And I don't know if people, what do you want to do? It's highlighted, then it must be used. What do you expect from this person? So then to change their style, like what was Harry do? Change his style and make it all about the negativity and the words that you pay to highlight. If you're highlighting your own hateful negativity, and in such a way, like, it's sad, and like, and I just feel for others, and some people commented a lot of sad things, and one thing that I observed again is how much, it goes deeper than all of that. I'm just saying, I'm not being like pouncy on that thing. Like, Harry Mack is very talented at taking and handling in the moment on on point. This is excellent. I'm like, yes, because I mean, I can't do what he does. I would be very like, I think he's a very patient person, and has a different life and has a different atmosphere, I guess, that he has worked on, and obviously does things in a different way. And I'm gonna just try and just be straightforward about, y'all. It's not okay to ever flip and go and disrespect someone. Come on, especially if it's uh like, for a lot of people, I just thought to myself, just a bar of soap. I don't know if you know what I mean. Oh, that's a bar. Sorry. Literally, like, in the olden days, but like it's old school, but I mean, it works. I mean, it's like, wash your mouth out. You can do it with a bar of soap. After that, you will never, ever, ever forget that metaphor. Because what does soap do but clean? Why do you have to clean? Why do you have to use soap? What is soap specifically good for cleaning? Dirt. Eh? You wash clean. It's of you. It's on you, the body. So let's say you need you need to have a bar of soap put in your mouth, which is just really like, I don't know if parents still do it today, but like when I was younger, you get threatened with that. And I mean, you might laugh at that and think it's funny, hilarious, but that's nothing compared to what real life in the worst circumstances with real heat in a different situation, that it's not like this live, beautiful experience of creativity where that foul mouth can get you in so much trouble that maybe you're in a dirty ditch. So you're going to watch your words, and you're going to watch what words you pay to highlight, because really you don't have the weight, and you ultimately, are you screaming for help, but are you crying wolf? Don't cry wolf. Hey, people. I mean, forget about that crying wolf story. I can't even remember it, but it's like, it's actually scary how real that is. And I didn't really want to go into that kind of talk because people do that, but I mean, if you're gonna like wail and like really suck energy for attention, like but you're human, and so you're like really dramatizing, or you're like kind of missing something, and you can't seem to understand, like, I don't know, please go to your parents, and listen to somebody if they say, you're being rude, or that was, I mean, look up negativity, look up, I mean, just get real. And to the kids, I mean, I have a lot of respect for this guy, and any other person also, I've got a lot of respect for, if they are able to handle, okay, anyone, but especially young kids that don't know what they're saying, but they picked it up from somewhere. And they will not always get the chance or the opportunity to see how, for example, how Harry would transform that into something beautiful and of creation, where I would surely hope that if you were disrespectful and rude and, like, as a child, like, what are you learning, and where else do you say that kind of thing, and how are you feeling, and it's concerning. And that's what Harry he lifts people up. He does that. It's like, and he really feels, he can see. I mean, all these comments, and some of them are people telling him, like, comments that's like, at least, I think you're limited to 200 words, but the story, and I mean, you've got people paying for their hatred. Highlighted words of nonsense that can literally don't even do that, because just imagine how you put that on a piece of paper, then you highlight it, and then you pay, and then you have the paper money and you put it on there, and then you crumple that up, because that's what happens, because you must accept the return of, because you're damn lucky that you can accept the return of that being transformed into something good and new and created, and for you to be lifted up, and you did nothing but like, I mean, just imagine that's like all like old school on paper. Like, how many trees are you cutting down with your hateful words if you're gonna put it on paper? Hey, how many? And you're paying for it. Wow. Okay. So are you stapling your money where your mouth is? And why? And do you these kids and all these people? Why are you? Do you think that's an investment? Investing in your own dirty words, like hateful words that you know are hateful. I don't know if when people say, I mean, like, it is common sense, please. It's common sense. There are certain words that it's just common sense that you know is hateful. I mean, I hate that I have to say hate, and I hate that, like, that's short for me to say, because, I mean, there's a very clear indication of a certain I want to say short-lived language. It's not even language, and it's not communication. But I guess I could just pray out loud and just think that I hope that any one of those people that pay for a highlighted word, put their money where their mouth is, if that's a dirty mouth with hatred, I hope that they truly receive, something that is healing, whether that's from this guy, if you're joining that chat, and like, you're gonna get your money's worth, but are you listening? When somebody else does that for you, again, the people that judge him, and how many times that he has to sort of like amp himself up and show even high levels of skill, and literally, like, I mean, I really, really respect that he, like, manages to keep hydrated, and he remembers to drink water. I mean, like, that in itself is genius. I noticed that, like, and I was like, yeah, I mean, like, I felt in sync with that at some point, because I was like, oh, okay, I was like, I took out juice, I made coffee, and I had water, because I can imagine one just needs to be hydrated, especially when, people are, I don't know, like, who are you to blow fire? Who are you to put arson out of your mouth? Who are you to think that you can dare to do that anymore? It's like, oh, I just think, he talentfully takes those things because he knows that other people see that too. And he knows that, it's not about each and every person individually. He can't save the world, but what he's doing is great. And if he does include your highlighted blue thing, sorry, it's not blue, it's some other word that I can't seem to remember, but it did seem to rub off, and I just remember that my solution to it being bars of soap. And that would be something that a parent would do. As a kid, that's how I learned that. Now I'm an adult, and like it's quite interesting. But he's an example of somebody that is seeing these things happen in the like seeing these things sort of happening in the world. Like many people going through stuff and either not articulating it or articulating it, or kids that are not going through stuff, that don't know, and they're confused, and they maybe have a limited vocabulary, and where does that money come from? And maybe they're in situations that I don't know. But I mean, I hope that the same for each and every person, that they are able to get a bit of light, a resolve, or even like hear the response to their contribution and how that response is beautifully taken and not used against, and used for the good, for the greater good, not only of your potty mouth, but a lot of other people, because it's quite yeah, I can't exactly say I'm surprised by it, because I'm not I'm old school, but I'm not like I'm just gonna skip. I don't know what to say there. It's just it's too much. Like there are dictionaries, there are this. I mean, Harry Mack, if you just listen, he's gonna like give more than a dictionary will give you, a standard dictionary, or more than you'll go look up in a dictionary ever in your life, unless you are a writer. And like that's a suggestion also. If you don't know something, go look it up. And then you don't have to feel so like, what are you doing? You don't have to be offended when you are corrected and taught a lesson, because if you're being offended, you're not listening, and then you're not being taught, so then you can't learn, and then you're going to land up in your own situation where you have to just somehow think that you can relieve yourself by saying a word of hate, and then that's not a ticket to get you in life. I mean, that vocabulary, if it's 3 words of hatred, like that should diminish. Just get rid of that. And I mean, you are gifted. Everyone. Nobody can tell me. No one. And I've even kids. I've worked with kids, special needs kids, and boy, are they intelligent. They are challenging to work with, because why? They push your intelligence. And through my experiences working with special needs kids, it was amazing, because, and I know this is a random example, but I'm moving into my life now. But that was an amazing experience, like I really appreciated that, and I appreciated, him incorporating a lot of people's good words as well, that weren't paid for, but ultimately there were loads of people there just to enjoy him and support him. And what it's all about is just to sort of raise each other up, and community and things like that. And I surely hope that was done. So I'm not trying to criticize, but it is good to criticize certain things and to keep at that, because if I didn't mention kind of that kind of thing, and I happen to, because I also want to share that that's a really great experience, and that to incorporate music, to incorporate things of creativity in your life, where like music, and be careful of what music you concentrate on listening to. Like, if you're listening to music with horrible words and it's making you feel depressed, and you don't try other music, then close your mouth. When you think, no, you don't know everything. And the reason why you're sad when you listen to music and words with, like, that are uh, like all in one song, and many songs that just put into a playlist, and you listen to it on repeat, and it's like used as a form to make it okay for you to feel depressed, or make yourself feel better by making yourself feel worse, and then you don't feel better, but you feel worse, and then you know how to feel worse, and then you say that you are depressed, and you're like, no, come on. But I mean, reach out to people, and to any adult, any person that knows or can notice, like, oh my gosh, that's concerning. And not just smack back with hate. If anything, criticize it like me. If anything, talk about it like me. If anything, way besides, try and think. And I'm not even going deeply into thought, because I don't want to talk on it too long. But I just want to say there's something to admire in creativity in many different ways. Even admiring creativity. Now think of being more creative with your own words that come out your mouth in life. Like, if you were to just leave out some of the hateful things that you would say, some words. And this is just learning and developing in life. Like, it's not overnight that you're going to try. So don't ever call yourself a failure. Trial and error. But ultimately with, getting to a goal of if you want to feel better, you got to be better. If you want to, you need to wash your mouth. You need to watch your mouth. And it's a metaphor when I say, wash out your mouth with soap, because that's an olden day way to teach children a lesson. One time, then no more ugly words, trust me. That I think nowadays kids you don't have that. And it's very sad that what a lot of kids nowadays, how that it's actually sad that if only that were the case, because essentially that's just a lesson, and it's understood, and it's not violent. And I mean, I've got to just say, if you're working with kids, or if you have any sort of intelligence where you are able to discern language enough, or if you're able to discern so much to be able to want to add on top of it, and also comment on the same comments of hate and negativity. It was some people only know certain words and they all say it. It's so strange, and that's not a trend. I mean, what is a trend really? What's a trend? Do you know yourself? When did last I said that in the wrong order, but I'm not perfect. That's another thing. Nobody's perfect. Perfect doesn't exist. If you think that you are perfect, and you think that you need to attain perfect, and I'm gonna go further now and say, what is perfect? Then what do you want to do? tell me a narrative or what you think perfect is, but you're going to actually describe somebody else or some kind of picture that you're placing onto yourself as an expectation to live up to or to become. And when you are there or you become that perfect, so fill that mold that you set for yourself instead of becoming settled inside of yourself, which is already shaped for you to just grow into. Like, really, I mean, just keep it simple. And like, adults, people that are responsible, that can teach the younger generation and to be better, especially if you're a person that knows all of those hateful words, that have taught kids those hateful words, that are, literally you can stop talking like that, and you can stop allowing them to learn that, to hear that, because, and I mean, adults, I can't really speak for adults, really, like, that's too complicated, but that is valid for me to say, because that's ultimately the younger kid that's grown up a bit and is maybe suffering because it's gotten a bit complicated. Yet it started out as a simple comment, opinion. And there's too many young children being exposed to, and I mean, I don't even know the right words to say there, because it's like to really shape around it, because there's like a whole set of things that, I'm sorry, like, that a large amount of people who have brains and have learned and are adults and are much older and are maybe even responsible, especially for kids that are like, and like the baby, like when the child is born into the world and you're the parent or somebody is responsible, they're the guardian of the child, etc. It's like, but I mean, like, the years, like, when the child's born until the age of 7, surely, and if not, now, just to be understood, that those ages are critical. And you need to be there, and you can't have a baby and then be worthy of a lawsuit that child should never have to process or feel the stress of or be submitted to having included in their life as they learn or develop, or maybe they don't and they start to, like, what are you doing? Don't play with life. It's not a cool thing to play around and just spit words of hate, like, my gosh, I mean, I'm not trying to be like over the top. I'm just trying to, like, if anything, I can show you how, like, it's taxing to even talk about it. And like, I can only be responsible to talk about it and to show, like, I have real emotion where it's hard to talk about, it's hard to address, and there's not much that I can do, but do my part in sort of like raising awareness, like, look, this is a problem in life. And I'll just go back to the work that I've done with kids and in families and stuff like that, where the outcome is supposed to be good, like the solutions and the ways to which they learn and ultimately then are able to teach you, and they actually do, in a proven black and white, logical, real way, do improve and grow and develop nicely in life, and can experience life and life can experience them. in a way that's harmonious. And I can literally go on, but one thing, I know there's different ways of having a child. I'm a woman, I have a womb, and a certain part that's underneath that womb, and through which a baby can go through the canal and come into the life with. If I have to say it like that. So, and there's ways, okay, that if I'm in that scenario, that's yes, okay, and I'm just trying to be nice, slide around the subject. So, like, that doesn't happen very quickly. It does, but also be careful. Be careful. Please be careful, because ultimately, when you are having a baby, and when you do have that baby, and you should know this beforehand, your life is no longer your own. Your life is your kids. It is about your children. I cannot stress this enough. And if you are not birthing a baby, that doesn't mean you can go around affecting other children in any way, especially that it's not helpful, and rather that it's harmful. And at that point, I can say that applies to all ages. And at the stem of it, if it's at young age and there's an age gap and there's a certain responsibility and a certain innocence and a certain whatever the case may be, certain damages really should not be done. I mean, I haven't counted all the people in the world, but if I take the word overpopulation, then, and think, okay, well, that's quite a big word and indicates like a lot of people. Then if I think about it and I think, well, I think then there should be more than enough people standing up and doing the right thing and noticing how important kids are in the early development stages, and how, if it's your own child, how it's so important, the role that you're playing in the kid's life. Or if you're getting somebody in to work with your kids and to be in your broken family to help solve problems and help make the family be able to run better and function better. But not everyone has to go that far. Not everyone even knows about that. And just, and some people, the kids, and then they're grown-ups and they've got issues. I know this. I mean, and then they've got, and it's not out of nothing. It is a lot of the times with many people, and I'm not saying all, but things that stem from childhood trauma that ultimately in life you've got to work through. You've got to work through that. Or you've got to get help. Or if you notice someone that's not like, if you notice something that is happening, you are responsible. You are responsible. So you speak out, you do the right thing, you encourage, you get the hell away, or you get involved. You see what's happening. It's for the kids, for the future generations, because what were you when you were a baby? And then how did you grow up? And like, you were also a kid. You can never be a kid again, but you're an adult. But you cannot ever just wipe it off your damn conscious of the like, that you are allowed to do. I'm not going to speak on the bad stuff. Watch your mouth. Watch your kids. If you want to pay for something you say, and highlight, and basically put your money where your mouth is. And if that money were some kind of bet, I don't know, but if you were to rather think of that money, staple your money where your mouth is, and turn it into so looking at that as an investment, which is good for you and your children or other people, just anybody else and yourself. And like the air probably would benefit also if you say stapled your money with your mouth and used it like in an investment type of way, and said something like "Let there be love" or "joy" or "a happy day." Okay, wow, like that is quite an investment. I want to invest too. I'm also gonna say that. Boom, 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 boom. There's the money, but you know what? That's not about the money. People often they think it's all about money. No. You'll often see how certain things outweigh money way, or they add the value when you just like put it in the right place, or you don't use it and you have the same effect, because there's a difference between love and hate. There's certain things in life you need to have to survive, and there are certain things that are happening too much in this life that have got to change, and I believe that they are changing. But I also know a lot of tragedies, and I know that many people have died, and I've lost people, and I've had to help a lot of kids go through things that I would feel I would wish I would have to rather take it away from them, like to go through for them, like. But ultimately they're helpless, and or anybody can be helpless or something. You should reach out for help, and things can get so serious, okay, no matter who you are, that it is life-threatening, and it's really important to reach out for help, and it's really important to be careful and beware and be aware. And everybody needs love. It's really essential to life, and I mean, not everyone can even speak, or even, you don't even have to say a word or type it out or have a computer to embody love and to have compassion and just to feel it. So I guess it's a prayer for now, and I guess if enough people sort of approach it gently and not aggressively, which is what I hope I'm doing. And I think I've spoken a lot about this, and it's probably boring to people. Not that I think that anyone would listen. But I'm doing this more for me because, not that you know what I'm going through, but it is important for me, and it is helpful to whoever it is. And it's my responsibility to be who I am and also do the right thing, and at least try and use my voice. And essentially the time is now. The time is now. And never get stuck on, time is running out. Where? Don't think silly things like that. Well, time's up. Oh, okay. If you're being coached and you're going for running lessons and you're running with athletics, okay, cool. in terms of understanding time and being on time and like, okay, that's stuff. That's like, okay. But essentially, like, be here in the now. And the time is now. And sometimes you'll get to a place where you are really in the moment and you are realizing a lot of things, and you realize that you've got to let go of things that you no longer have time for, or that you can't carry with you into the future, or that you simply need to just accept as past, even as close to just before the here now time, and just to live here and now, because you can understand that that's what you need to do. For me, that is what I need to do. And I kind of am embracing it, that it's a pressure off of me, but a part of me also kind of feels, oh man, I wish I did more or spoke more. I have so much to say, and I know I'll never be able to contribute to everything that I've learned, especially from this book, which I will get to, okay, and how things have changed, and like what I can help so many people with. And I always think to myself lately, well, I question myself, but I think to myself as well, and then ultimately just move on in thinking, because I don't really have the answer, and I can only sort of be okay with, okay, well, I hope that this or that helps, and that I hope that I've done enough for each and every person, and more, that each person can find a way to see the light in this world, and that, I mean, I used to think on like help someone, but like no, it's like I truly pray and I hope, because I don't get feedback. I'm not sure about other people, but I always think and to say, and I value it, and I try and make a point to say to others that I see are making a real difference, whether it's just to me or me and other people I know or I've observed as well, but ultimately I haven't said anything in thanks of, or like for me I haven't been let know, so I'm always thinking to myself, or feeling stressed, and also trying to be not hard on myself, but it's stressful to think that you have to sort of be in the here and now as much as I can, and think in certain ways and use certain sort processes and etc. You don't need to know, and yeah, it's, and to just accept that the hope in that I've helped enough people through interactions in my life, that happened, that it was true, even though I didn't get feedback or confirmation. And for me, that's been difficult because it's not about perfection. It's not about I need like acknowledgement. It's more like I don't feel like I've ever gotten enough feedback, and I would always think, I'm not doing enough. Could I've done more? And I now in my life, it's sad for me because I don't know, and it's not that I feel bad because I've tried. If anything, what my life's work has been helping people, trying to help people, and I hope that I did, because that would make my life worth something. Not that it isn't now, but I mean worth something to others. Because my life is not only about me. That's what I mean. Seriously, it's really not. I know that. Like, that's why I'm doing this. That's why I'm speaking. That's why I'm speaking to nobody specifically addressed, and that's why this will be posted. And if it's to just try and get out some things, whether I'm able to or not, about me, or some bits of me, or some things that I've learned and can say on life, it could be helpful. Or to just, like, for me, I sometimes think of it as like what I can do now is sort of very simple things, and what I find is worth it, even though it's hard. But I can't be selfish anymore. Like, for me, it's like, okay, yeah, no, I do appreciate life. I've lived and given back in different ways. I've also broken my back for people, and learned from that, and been through a lot in life, and I've understood the lessons of, like, the promise here. It's very important to give a hand to people. I've often done that, but I've done that more than I've done that. This is hard to say. I've done that more than any and all people I've ever crossed paths with in my life put together have done to me or for me. And that's kind of the reason why I will continue trying to help people in every way that I can, because I know what it's. But at the same time, I'm saying that, I can say that, like, most people don't realize, or might only realize later, that they were given a hand. And that doesn't happen for everybody. That's rare, and I can say that in a lot of cases that's not going to happen, and you shouldn't expect that, and you should at least know about your own hand that you can have too, and that you can use them. And sometimes you've got to give yourself just, there's some stiffness there, just tend love. Don't hit yourself in the face, that's stupid. Give yourself a hand, like, yes, Whatever. I look silly now, but I'm just saying.